Hello and welcome to ET Garage. I'm Eugene Tordo, and today's video is going to be a continuation of the Wildwood brake upgrade. If you've seen the last video, that was the install. I took it out. The thing works great. I even tested it in the rain and had it down some of my favorite roads where I can really work them hard. That being said, the next step is either one, upgrade the rears to Wildwoods, which is expensive, and I don't really feel it's necessary. I think if I was doing a lot of track days and autocross or something like that, a lot of motorsports events that required a lot of braking, I would definitely upgrade the rear, but I am not. And so instead, I'm going to be installing this little sucker right there. That's a brake bias spring. I got this from Doug Rippey Motorsports. I'll leave links, like I said, to everything in the description. And I'm considering putting a new master cylinder. I've had this for years. I got this on clearance from Rock Auto a long time ago, and I figured I got it cheap because a new one like this usually goes well over $200. And I forgot what I paid for this, but it was clearance. It was really cheap. So I bought it and put it on the shelf in case I ever need it. And I think I'm just going to reuse the old one because the old one is working. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know. We'll find out somewhere along this video if I go new or old. Maybe I should just put the new one on. Leave your comments down there in the comments section. And if you haven't subscribed, go down there, hit the subscription button, notification bell, all that good stuff. Anyway, after my introduction video, we'll be back and I'll go over everything I have to do. I'm about ready to get to work. As you can see, we're in a major rainstorm here in my area of the country here in Pennsylvania. Supposed to get like 3 inches of rain and in flood watch, and I already had the power go out once. So I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but it is coming down. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. But anyway, let's get on with the video. Alrighty, I went ahead and cleaned this all off. It had like this this gooey goop on it that I didn't like. I don't know if that was like assembly lube or something that they used during the process, but I went ahead and cleaned it off with a good old-fashioned brake cleaner. And if you're wondering why I used the bias spring from Doug Rippey, that's because Doug Rippey sells 2 different bias springs, one for non-ABS and one for ABS. So people who remove their ABS system or deactivate it, they want to get the other spring. Now, there's a lot of Corvette companies out there that specialize in Corvette parts that sell these bias springs, but they only sell one. They don't say whether it's for ABS or non-ABS. Doug Rippey sells one for ABS and non-ABS. I'm ABS, so that's what I'm using, and I'm not sure what difference that'll make because I am running that Wildwood brake kit up front. So that might make a difference. Anyway, anytime you buy a master cylinder, it normally comes with this master cylinder bleeding kit, which you'll need. And I'll get into that later. But anyway, I decided to use the new one. And I already broke this loose. It broke loose real easy. This is the, here, I'll show you the instructions real quick here. Maybe I'll make a copy and post it at the end there in the video. But that's the instructions. Basically, remove the warning switch. I don't have to because this one is still on the old one. Remove front assembly. Remove combination piston. Solid bake ring. Remove snap ring and combination pin. Remove stock spring inside combination piston. Insert DRM brake bias spring. Reinstall snap ring. Note, rounded face must be towards spring. Ring must be fully seated in groove. Reinstall combination piston. Check to be sure that the groove and piston lines up with the warning switch port. Reinstall warning switch, which needs only to be finger tight. Bleed brakes at all 4 calibers according to the service manual. Alrighty, so I already broke this loose. It's a 15/16, at least that's what worked for me. And it broke loose very easily on this new one. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But you know what? Before I go any further, let me get a container to put all these parts in or something. So hold up a second. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and cleaned that with brake cleaner. That's one of those magnetic dishes. Okay, getting these out is going to be a little difficult. I need a small screwdriver. So I got the spring out. Okay, now to get that piston out. I've rebuilt master cylinders in the past. I never did one on a 90 Corvette or one that has this piston in it. So I'm going to have to see how to get this out. And they say to use a mechanic's prick. Basically what they're saying, use a long pointy thing, stick it in there and wedge it. At least that's what I'm thinking. I may be wrong. Let's see if I got one here. I know I have them in my basement. I don't feel like running down there to get them. So, might want to make sure you have all the tools before you start, unlike what I'm doing. And whatever you use, make sure it's clean. You use this pointy file. Problem is these things break real easy, so I have to be real careful. Here. Okay, it's coming out slowly. Yeah, looks like I might have to run out in the rain down the basement and get a one of my tricks. Let's see if I can find a better way of getting this out. So just hold on. Okay, I don't know if you've seen that. I was able to use needle nose. That came out amazingly. Okay, remember, try not to lose anything or damage. And I don't know if you can see it, but in the end there, if I get different lights, it's that snap ring. Let me get a snap ring pliers. It'll be difficult. Hopefully you guys can see all this. Of course, it always helps to have a little screwdriver. The spring is going to probably want to pop out, so you want to be careful. The snap ring pliers I'm using are not compressing this enough. Whoa, there she goes, and she almost did pop out. Luckily I didn't lose the snap ring. I don't know if you've seen that. But here is the brake bias spring. As you can tell, it's longer. And I'm thinking it's just longer. Maybe that's the only difference. It looks like it's thinner but longer, so I don't know. Good question. I'm not sure which one is stiffer and which one ain't. But either way, gonna stick that in there. And this is going to be the tricky part, I guess. Compressing this. And reinstall the snap ring. Reinstalling this snap ring is going to be quite a trick. Okay, this is like take number 35 attempt. This has taken me quite a few attempts. It would be a lot easier if I had a second set of hands. I ended up losing the C-clip, so I ended up taking the old master cylinder apart and taking that C-clip. I'm glad I did, because if you can see here how corroded that is. Now I flush my brakes every year, so I'm glad I took this apart. I didn't expect it to find it corroded like that, but here we go again. I'm going to try again, and hopefully not lose this C-clip, because if I do, I'm going to be very upset. I have a bunch of C-clips, but they're external, not internal. So, alright. Going to do it this way this time. Hopefully you guys can see all this. Make it a little easier. Going, going, going. Going, going, going. Okay, that C-clip is not lining up right. tell you, there's not much of a groove to hold that. And I'm definitely going to have to clean that, but that looks like maybe a little bit more, just to play it safe. Did hear it go click, sort of. Okay, I'm going to have to say that is in there. Okay, that is in there. I may want to... Yeah, I have to say that is in there. So I'm glad, I hope you bared with me on that, and sorry about all the disconfusion. Don't be like me and lose the C-clip and goes flying off in your shop. You know, try and keep your shop a lot cleaner than mine, organized, and if you do lose, it'll be easier to find. So anyway, I'm going to clean this up and go back over to the workbench and put this all back together. Alright, it's all back together. It's the reverse of what you took it apart. And make sure you take pictures when you take it apart, or make a little video like I am. And make sure that, and hopefully you can see that there's a little groove inside there. This is where the brake light switch goes. Mine's pretty bad shape, but it works. Goes in there, and you have to line that up. If you push the piston all the way in, it won't line up. So keep that in mind when you put it in. And when you put this in, it says to do it finger tight. So let's do that. Finger tight. Takes a little pressure to push the spring in. And voila. There we go. Ta-da. That's it. Now I'll get over on the bench and bench bleed it. Okay, here I am on the bench. Hopefully you can see that. You run these lines. The kit that came with it didn't have these fittings. I actually had another kit laying around. These fittings barely fit. They're plastic, so you can cross-thread the plastic on there without bothering anything. Of course, I got a leak from the one because it's not an exact fit. So I'm doing the best I can. And in the meantime, what you do is you run these hoses up in, fill it with brake fluid. Make sure you have plenty of brake fluid, and then you just start to pump using a big screwdriver down this end. I prefer to use a Phillips. See the air come out? Yep. Hold it. And repeat. Now you're going to keep doing this until there's no air coming through these lines. This will take quite a bit. I've seen this take quite a bit of times to get all the air out of this, so keep that in mind. Okay, master cylinder's bled. I actually ended up having a hard time, and the reason was I didn't have the right fittings on there. So I went and looked through all my old stuff and found fittings that fit correctly. Now once you're done bleeding, you just carefully carry it over without spilling any brake fluid, and bolt it all down and everything. And then once you get it bolted on down, you're going to want to undo these fittings and screw these on as well, practically and fast as you can without losing as little fluid as possible. Either way, you still need to bleed the entire brake system, so keep that in mind. up for now. The master cylinder on, the lines are hooked up. I just got to bleed the system, and there's a couple other things I want to clean, give my wheels a good cleaning while they're off and rotate them. I may go ahead and paint the brake calipers on the rear too. I should. There's nothing else to do today since it's raining. I don't know if I want to take the time or not. I might just finish up the brake bleed, clean the wheels, get them back on, and call it a day. But anyway, I will be having a follow-up video to this, how it forms. I know people with the stock brake systems have done the bias spring upgrade, and they say they like it. It really helps braking. Just keep in mind, make sure you get one for either an ABS or non-ABS, depending on how you have your car equipped. And just go down there, subscribe if you're not, and hit the notification bell, and that'll keep on updates on what's going on with this car. And like I said, the next video will be a test drive. But anyway, I'm not going to go and do a video on bleeding the brakes. I did that once before. I'll leave a link somewhere during this video. Bleeding brakes on a 90 Corvette. And on a 90 Corvette, you always start with the right front. And why? Because the ABS unit's located behind the driver, so the brake fluid travels all the way back there and all the way back up front again. I know other C4s, I know you want to check different year C4s. You want to check your owner's manual for that, which wheel to bleed brake. And if possible, especially when replacing the master cylinder or anything like that, you want to be able to activate the ABS. I went over that, like I said, in that video. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. Check back, see how the upgrade worked out on the street, and I'll try and get some driving in and opinions on it and how I like it. And like I said, everybody have a great day, and God bless.